I'm waiting on equipment for the planned video, so I thought I'd just do a short one. And I needed bollocks. It's the overlords. It's grungy all the way, isn't it? I've not actually watched further than 2 episodes of Kuuga, which is kind of a shame actually. I do keep getting urges. Probably going to get there pretty soon once we're done with Kiva on this show. But yeah, I looked on Wikipedia and I learnt that, don't even remember his name, Yusuke? Probably, from Decade, works at a tea shop, and I like a good cup of tea. And I've also heard that, see, I don't know the truth of this, but I have heard that in America people don't have kettles, electric kettles. I've also heard that's not true, so maybe it's like a half and half thing. But it's not uncommon when you see, you know, Anglophiles talking about that marvellous English obsession with a good cup of tea, and they say, oh, I tried making tea at work and it was horrible. And I think, well, tea is delicious, what can have gone wrong? And I ask and they say, well, I made it with the hot water dispensing urn that coffee is made with, and that's just no good because that's not hot enough. So I'm gonna show you 2 things. One, we'll just make a normal cup of tea because it's very soothing even if you already know how to do it. And on the other hand, I'm going to make green tea flavour bubble tea because that's fun. See, if you don't like green tea, it is a little bit of an acquired taste, I will admit. And please do try leaf tea, not bag tea. Green tea in bags can be nice, but it's much rarer than loose leaf green tea. But either way, if you're not really ready for that, then I do suggest you try getting your hands on some green tea tapioca pearls, because they are wonderful. On the one hand they're beautiful, and on the other hand bubble tea is just so nice. If you've never had it, you really have to try it. It is the most delightful drink that I've ever had. So let's find out the volume of pearls that I'm using. It's fine, I've got it. Just like Yusuke. Don't let any get away. Now, according to my measuring funnel, I'm using 1/4 of an American cup's worth. Times that by 10, and that's how much water I need. Of course that means 2.5 is what I need. Because a quarter, 4 quarters is 1, 2 fours are 8, and 10 minus 8 is 2. So there you are. Simple. It looks like loads, and it is, but if you've never experienced tapioca pearls, oh, the joys that await you. So we have to turn this up to boiling. And I put it on 6 because I live dangerously, and then you just boil them for 15 minutes. Easy. The packet says, no, you can't read that. The packet says that you should bring the water to the boil first, but I don't bother with that because it works fine otherwise. I'm actually really looking forward to Kuuga because it seems to have something to do with archaeology, which has always been an adventure favourite of mine. And I know that one of the, well, I think the main support character is a policeman, and I do like my crime fiction, as you may have heard when we covered Double on the podcast. But he looks to be a positive police depiction, like in Agito and a couple of others. So yeah, I really am looking forward to it, and I also really like the idea that he was supposed to be the last Kamen Rider. I read that recently. I think Cannibal Saracenian linked to it on Tumblr. But I think that's really cool. I think that I don't mind that he wasn't the last, that they rebooted the whole thing, with Agato, I think that worked very nicely. Kind of a shame where it's gone now. But no, I think that that's a very cool idea, very cool storytelling concept, the last Kamen Rider, that how to top it off, how to respect and pay tribute to what went before, but to try to have the last word. I think that's very interesting. I'm really looking forward to it. That's so wobbly. But see, they're quite sticky, so you want to put them into syrup quickly. And that's just some sort of, any kind of sugary liquid really. I'm going to use maple syrup because it was my birthday and I happen to have some around. So I'm just going to put the camera down and do that. Straight in, because you want it to be hot. Hot, hot, hot. There used to be a cafe in Stratford-upon-Avon, called the Real Tea Cafe, that had, you could get white tea and red tea and green tea and black tea and all the different types of tea, and they all had the correct temperature, because you're supposed to brew them all at a slightly different temperature. And it had timers, depending on what kind of tea it was. They would put in the right temperature of water, and then they would brew it for the correct amount of time, and they would serve it to you absolutely perfectly. And that cafe is gone now, and that's sad. Maple syrup. You see, it keeps them lubricated, so they don't stick to each other and cause a big mucky lump. You can have bubble tea with any sort of tea you like. You can use normal black tea, PG, or Tetley, or whatever you have. You can use any kind of drink at all, really, any sort of milky liquid. In fact, there are no rules, as I continue to tell you. You can have it in apple juice. I did that the other day while I was recording a podcast with Jules, Crown of Birds, and Sono, Mama Fry's Meal from Tumblr. We were talking about Kiva. But I'm going to use this tea, because it's special.
PowerPoint anymore. She was like, oh no, lots of people use PowerPoint.